Season 5, Episode 5. Permanent lights. These are the permanent lights that I'm using on my house for this holiday season 2025. At the end of last season, 2024 Christmas, I bought this one. They are 100 foot, and I put them up, and it only served a little piece, half of my frontage of my house. However, this is what they come with: all the tapes, adhesive, screws, optional. It comes with instructions and also a remote. Strange thing about this one, this is a 100-footer. It doesn't have a specific name. It's just called Outdoor Decorative Lights. That's it. It's much cheaper, quite a bit cheaper than the other brands out there, but this is the only one I could afford. Since this is a do-it-yourself, I'm going to show you next how I put up this one last year and why I went back and got another one this year. So I started right here last Christmas and run the wire along here, and then it goes down there. I had to jump up to the top there, over there, to the front, over there, came on to here, and it ended up right here in the middle, and that was 100 foot. This system does come with an app to control all of that from your phone or from the remote right here. The problem I have is that I live in South Florida, and these adhesive here works best on a nice smooth surface like a aluminum siding. But if you look at my house right here, you can see that this is what they call CBI construction. CBS, I'm sorry. Concrete, brick, steel. And this is how the finish is. You can see that it is anything but smooth. Another problem I had is up under here, under the eave. If I come at this angle, you can see that up under there, between the wall and the eave, it is a 60-degree angle. So I have a problem in putting up these things. This calls for, please install the string lights 5 to 10 centimeters away from the wall surface. And the back of each of these bullets or pucks comes with an adhesive. You can just imagine that this is not going to hold too well on the finish of these walls. However, I went ahead and did it. What I decided was that it is a fact that 10 centimeters equals about 4 inches. So what I went out and do, I went out to Home Depot and got a piece of this board right here, which is a 1x4 by 6 footer. Cut off this amount so I can get equal distance from the wall to the eaves. Because I live in Florida, and in November, December, January, the daytime temperature is about 80, 85, nighttime 75 or lower. All of these things, the adhesive here fell, the whole light fell down. So I had to figure out a different way how to get them to stay up there. I look around my house for other things that I've used this for, realizing that I do have this product, alien tape. It comes in 2 different sizes, that size right there, and a smaller one right here. So what I did was I took one of each of these, peel off this yellow piece, and put it on the back of that there, and it works perfectly with this kind of surface. So just imagine that it works perfectly up under there. So I'm going to show you now how that works with what I've put up. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to zoom in here, and you can see how that alien tape is working perfectly with this kind of surface. You can see that the puck itself is sitting on this big blob of alien tape. And since I did this February, March of this year, it has never fallen down. And that is what they look like in real time. I'll move around so you can see a few more of these. All of them have got that alien tape. And you can see that the alien tape works best because it just fits in between this finish that they do up under there. Now that piece of board 1x4x6 give me the equal distance between the surface here and the puck. So all of them is about 4 inches apart. If you do not have any alien tape at home, go out and get some of it. You won't need it just for this if you're going to put up lights like I am doing and they're falling down, but they are for utility. Because as I said, I've had these for 3-4 years and they are working perfectly for this application. This is the second set of permanent lights that I bought to finish the job this year. Now remember, I put these up since February, March of 2025. They've been up because I use these tape to hold on these things. So what I'm going to show you now is the second 100-footer that I've put up. So the second 100-footer starts here in front of my front bathroom window. It continues there, goes up under there. I do have a unique problem when it comes to where the vent comes out. I can't very well stick this on the mesh that makes the vent. So what I have to do is creatively get a piece of board, ram it in between the wall and the eaves, and then put the puck right on it, as you can see right there. The same thing occurs right here also. You can see that. And no nailer screws are used. I just jam it in there, and just friction alone is keeping it. And it continues all the way down. The 100-footer goes from the front of the house to the very end of the house right here. And notice you can see that there is a 4-inch difference all the way down. One of the unique problems that I have in putting up these permanent lights is when it comes to under here, and I gotta end it there, and then I have to make a jump from there up to there. From here up to there, and from there all the way down to there. Another jump from there up to the top, and this is the last jump here from up there all the way down to here. So this is what I do. Although it is not recommended, but I did cut each of those in order to make the jump. Last year, 2024, once I cut them, I got to make sure that I keep the color in order, and this is what I do. I go by this diagram here. There are 3 wire. I bought a 50-foot length of wire that I'm going to use for the jumps. Then each of the wire that comes with the pucks on them has got a black wire, and then I use a color marker to the middle one. I colored it red, and then the other one yellow. And so I followed that all the way through. If not, if you don't do something like that, you're going to be in a problem getting this thing to work correctly. So this is my way of doing it. So 2024, I use these things to join the 3 parts. To me, now that I've learned some more, these are useless. Do not use these things, these wire twisters. They are useless in my estimation. Instead, buy and use these ones. These things are called Wago 221, and they come in single or double, triple, and this one is 5. And this is how they work. The packaging for these Wago varies. If you're going to use this at all, get a bigger package because you will use them up so fast. This one here is a 90-piece package, and I'm finished using these on this particular project, but I have it for many others. Let me demonstrate how these things work. So here is the two, and once you peel off the wire, it goes into this side and this two, and then where you're going to join it is going to go into there. Then you clamp down those two sides. The same thing with the side-by-side two. One end goes in there, and the other part that you're going to join it to goes on the other side. Now I'm going to put them in and show you what it looks like with the wings here clamped down. That's the beauty about this. These things, you got to twirl them around and they fall apart easily. Once these are locked in, you will never, it's difficult to for them to come apart. Let me do that, and next thing I'll show you what it looks like. You can clearly see that the clips are down and the wires are joined. And these are just one-way ones. Same thing over here. When you look from the bottom, you can see the raw wires there joined up, and you can see it right here. So the preference doesn't matter so long as you're joining one wire to another wire. And you got to be careful with the coloring. That's obviously key, because this is electricity we're dealing with now. I'm going to show you what it looks like, the ones that I put up earlier on this year. Okay, this was my first jump, and you can see that I'm using the same two. There's 3 sets of them because there are 3 wires. As you can see that coming out of the pucks, there are 3 wires. And when you go in here, obviously you got to use 3 of these things. As I'm saying, to buy a wide variety. And you can see how they go in there. I got the yellow black wires going in, and I'm very, very careful. Now this is the 50 footer that I bought. I run it under the rain gutter, go up on the top. I'll show that to you now. All the way down there is where the joint, where it made contact. You can see I use some 1-on-1 singles right down in there. This is another one. I run out of the 2s, so I had to go and use some 3s, although I only needed 1 of them. But I had to use 3 of them because there's 3 wires. You can see them, red, yellow, and black. And I got to make sure I keep them in order. On the here is another joint, and even those joiners, I use the Halion tape to hold it to the wall, and it's out of the water flowing and all of that. You can see where the black wire, which is the 50 footer that I bought from Amazon, came down there, and that is running from all the way up under there. Okay, one last jump. This is the last one, and you can see that I have the black, yellow, and red wires there, and I use those Wagos 221 to join them up. That is what it looks like right there. The power for the first 100 footer starts here. I started here because outside of my house I do have an outlet right there that I can put it on there and put a timer on it, and that will control the first 100 foot. Cannot put both 100 footers on one outlet. So this is what the first 100-foot power comes from. I'm in Florida, so some of the guests that I have are these massive lizards, and they run around my house as if they own the place. The power for the second 100-footer goes at the other end of the house. So there's another outlet down there. I put a timer on it, and I have both of them running. I'm gonna put on the other one, daytime viewing of the lights, and tonight I'll come back and do the nighttime viewing. So I got the first 100-footers on, and as I said, these I've worked on since February, March of 2025, and this is completed already. I just finally got around to making a video of this to put on my YouTube channel, but you can see that they're working just fine. So this is the first 100-foot, and it comes down over there. I get up onto here so you can see that everything is working just fine. You can see another joining together where that is joined right there, and those Wagos is what the joining is. Come down here, another joining there, and then this comes over to here, and now it ends right there. That's the end of the first 100-footers right there. You can see how I put the very end of it up onto there, keep it away from water. Okay. No jump here because the second 100-footer starts right there. This is the daytime viewing of the first 100-footer. Tonight I'll put it on so you can see what it looks like at night. See you later. As promised, this is what it looks like at night. That is the first 100-foot, right there. I live in South Florida, and I'm outside videotaping this. It's a cloudy night, you can see. And then I saw this cloud formation. Cloud with a silver lining, it looks as if it is. Take a look at that. Ah, awesome.